Hmm, out of all of these, it would make sense to focus on something more like a tree route like this one. Look at how many of those unlock. That one unlocks. However, that is quite expensive. Look at that. This one goes towards space science packs, which are very later on. We don't want to focus on those yet. The solar panels, you can see, are precursor to a few things. Concrete is precursor to rocketry and advanced energy. The field density of this is so much higher than everything else that it practically replaces solar and coal. It's miraculous, actually. So this appears to be the most progressional. Oh, and look at that. It doesn't even cost very much science to do. We want to focus probably primarily on robotics right now. It's going to be crucial for what I'm planning. But what do we need before robotics? Liquid processing, which for that we need to run liquid lines down from where we process, where we refine these liquids, or fluids actually, because one of them is a gas. In fact, the only one we have right now is a gas. So we need pipes going from up here down to somewhere in the main bus here. And since I left these two wide gaps all along it, that's very convenient. We can just have it go through there, mostly underground. The only problem I can see is that could eventually clutter those gaps and make them unusable for other things. Now, the path of progression for robots should be along which line? This one. We're going to need advanced oil processing, electric engines, robotics after that. And then after just general robotics, we can focus on either construction robotics, logistic robotics, or utility science, which is useful for the logistic system, which logistic robots are not very useful until you have the logistic system. But these utility science packs, look at how expensive they are. They're practically space age, which would make sense for robots. Now, enough of the speculation. We don't need concepts, we need results. And we need them fast. So, right now, one thing I can do that's very productive is actually constructing a few more modules to help us with making the components we need for this liquid facility. And for that we're going to need to extend the main bus like I said originally. But I postponed for some reason. At least we have a lot of belts now. Because I've been doing other things for so long. All part of the plan. I can't wait until I have construction robots doing all of this. Hold on. Something I need to go deal with. Oh, and you know what? By the time I get there, it's all going to be wrecked. Going to be a disaster. Since the train's not here, I'm going to need to use the car, which is slower. I was hoping this wouldn't happen until much later. Because you know what? You know what this means now. We need to deal with Conquest before anything else, which is going to take time. Going to take a lot of time. Avoiding the train. I don't want to hit that. Or we could just set up more turrets, actually. That would probably be more ideal. Oh, look at this. They've already destroyed so much. Well, at least there's nothing irreplaceable. I can easily just replace these totally destroyed parts. And then, after that, put in... yes. All very self-explanatory, actually. Now, what exactly do we want to do with this? Probably 5 turrets right here. Branch the ammunition line to go up as well as down. And the turrets can go right here. Easy. No problem at all, actually. The turrets themselves are still constructing, so that's happening. It probably came from right here. They're not even contacted by the pollution very much, actually. These are about to become a problem soon. But not that much of a problem. As you can see. Oh, guess what we need to do? We need to start constructing these science packs. They take stone for bricks for walls, and coal for grenades, and ammunition that we use for other things. We're going to need to divert to those, which is going to be a drain on our military might for a while. Every time we want to research something new. And nothing of too much concern, however, since if we have a lack of something, we can just make more facilities for producing that thing. In almost all cases. Worst case scenario, we run out of deposits and enter a new dark age. For instance, without coal, nothing else would work at all. That would be a disaster. So actually, we could produce that military science module somewhere down here right now, if we just extend the belts, like we're doing here. The lower portion of this facility can be dedicated to science. There. No, we don't have very many belts left. No, just enough for some modules. Wow, steel production is still the biggest problem. I feel like I would prefer to focus on that right now. Yes, if I don't fix that, it's going to become a growing problem. So now... what would be the preferable way of dealing with that? Not contaminating half of the belt with the wrong resource. That would be not good. So that's going to halt steel production for some time. And we want to take all of this metal from down here, the iron, and divert some of it up, but not all of it, only some. Only a very finite amount. Going down and then back up after feels inefficient, and that's probably because it is. Oh wait, that's not viable. I backtrack slightly and try again. There. That's sufficient. And now that revised system of taking from both of these outputs and putting them back up here should help with the very poor steel production facility I made. Which will also probably need to be extended at some point. And these bricks are going to need to be brought down to the science area, as I anticipated. As well as this ammunition, which is only being supplied to the north currently. The south is completely unprotected. Yes, now it's backlogged, which means we can put in more of these smelters. And that will increase the rate finally. One thing we definitely don't want is to run out of stone. Although this deposit here should help, along with this smaller one. Those we can just belt in since they're not very far away. There. And while we're waiting for that, we can focus on these modules, what will we need to produce again? Pipes, of course. Those require steel. I mean iron. Oh yes, this one is going to be attacked regularly now. Fortunately, we have so much ammunition there that it doesn't really matter. And this will be the module for production of underground pipes, and the next one will be... Or wait, we can have both of them occur in the same module with minimal effort. And since they're so related, it won't matter that much. There. Look at how fast that produces. What we're actually going to need is something more like this. Which isn't that much worse, fortunately. And... there, and finally, this part here. And this and this. There. Now this system is much better than the one before. Look at how fast they're producing now. We can finally start doing more advanced things with these. In fact, I would like to move those. And what should I replace that with? Probably these. Oh wait, I already have a slot for those. In that case, actually, have these be here. These can move to here. And finally, these two can be here. Carry 50 of those at a time, and many of these. Well, actually, I'm going to need a lot of these, so I'll take as many as I can. So now we can finally make that fluid line from these two locations to each other. What else?